I actually now find myself as a former Rodgers critic and almost now an ally, because I do think he's been treated unfairly. And when I see him act the way he's acting, it just validates what I said, which is don't screw with this guy. He will bail on you.
All right. So there are a few, when you do what you've done, as long as you've done it, there are, every, 3-4 times a year, every year, you say something that really stands out and that people will remember and will come back to. So Baker's an example. You were very strong, very adamant on Baker. And now forever with Baker, you're going to be tied to him one way or another, right?
Right.
So with Aaron, history has proven that a lot of what you said about Aaron was true. And I think that should be acknowledged, because in our business, the times when it goes the other way, when history proves us wrong on things, we got to eat it. So with Aaron, you do deserve, you're not taking a victory lap, but kind of. And you were right. And the fans, of course, will turn on him, especially, by the way, and you know this, I used to work with Mad Dog. I love Chris, but especially the type of fans who listen and call into Chris Russo's show, they are going to turn on the athlete a little faster. The other thing is this, and this is something I have observed from afar, from before we worked with each other to when we first met, and to now when we've worked with each other for 5 years, and I consider you one of my closest friends. As you have gotten, how people say, like, if you're young and not a liberal, you don't have a heart, and if you're old and not a conservative, you don't have a brain. You've actually gone a little the other way. Yeah. As you've gotten older and more successful, you relate more to the superstar athletes.
Yes.
I think as you have in your career gotten more on the same level as the best athletes, as far as where you are in your field to where they are in theirs, I think you have more sympathy and more relate to them, being like, bleep you, management. No, I'm carrying this. And so I think that you've been very pro Russell Wilson, well, his whole career, but in the dispute with the team. You've been very pro LeBron on the economy moves with him. So if he wants, years ago, his friends to be on the team playing, then put him on the team playing. He is the economy of the city. And with Aaron, you see Green Bay, maybe he's a pain in the ass at times, but he is carrying more than his weight. And I think it's been a fascinating, just watching it, evolution of what I think that 15 years ago, Colin Cowherd maybe wouldn't have been as sympathetic to Aaron Rodgers' situation. I think it would have maybe been, they're paying you $40 million. You know what I mean? Be happy about it. And I think I think that's evolved. And by the way, I think the media is evolving in this. You're right. The fans are still going to call Russo show and kill him. Yeah. But 20 years ago, he would have had no support in the media. Now, I think most of the media does support him.
Yes.
The media has become very player friendly. At a time, maybe a little too player friendly. And I think the media is like, yeah, listen, give Aaron what he wants.
Yeah. Well, I think what Aaron's asking for is the same treatment of Russell Wilson, Brady, and Mahomes, where the Chiefs literally went out and structured the offensive line full of Pro Bowl talent. Brady got everybody back. Russell Wilson got upgrades because he finally went public. Aaron's just saying, could you keep my quarterback coach?
Well,
could you give me a heads up on Jordy Nelson?
Yeah. How about this? Could you treat me with the respect the Vikings treated Kirk Cousins and called Kirk Cousins, which, by the way, I do believe it. I think the Vikings called Kirk Cousins in part to be nice to Kirk Cousins and in part to make it worse for the Packers.
I agree.
It's a divisional rival. You know what I mean? That's their biggest rival and their biggest competition. And I think they're like, you know what? You know what will really make Aaron Rodgers mad? If not only do we give Kirk Cousins a heads up, but we make sure everybody knows that we gave Kirk Cousins more respect than the Green Bay Packers gave you.
This is exactly how the sports world works. Don't kid yourself. You know this and I know this. The pettiness at the executive level is fantastic.
Yes, 1,000%. So I totally believe that's what happened there.